Diving deep, deep into the source, bringing love so we can release that which we no longer need. Diving deep, deep into the source, bringing love so we can release that which we no longer need. Diving deep, deep into the source, bringing love so we can release that which we no longer need. Diving deep, deep into the source, bringing love so we can release that which we no longer need. Diving deep, deep into the source, bringing love so we can release that which we no longer need. Diving deep, deep into the source, bringing love so we can release that which we no longer need.
Aloha. Good evening. This is Andrew Aloha live out of Flagstaff, Arizona. The Spiritual Image Productions on Blog Talk Radio and free conference call and YouTube. Establishing and maintaining right relationships through human values. Aloha and welcome to tonight's Golden Age Music Show. Tonight we're here with Marya Stark. Now, is that how you say your name, Marya? Marya?
Yeah, that's how you say it, Andrew. Hi, yeah, Marya Stark. So great to be here.
I thought I was going to say Marine at first, Marine Stark. No, it's Marya Stark.
It's Marya Stark. That's me.
All the way out of California. Now, what part of California are you in, Marya?
I'm currently living in Santa Cruz, California, but you know I was born and raised in Phoenix, just a couple hours south of you.
Really? Yeah, I know. I know exactly where that's at. And it's probably scorching hot there today. You're probably glad you're not there today.
I'm glad. I actually just told my mom that she wants me to come visit. I'm like, oh, wait until it cools off a little.
Oh, she still lives in Phoenix?
She's actually moving to Prescott now, which I've
Oh, no way.
And it's a lot sweeter up there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but Prescott is a hillbilly town, isn't it?
Oh, I think it's kind of artists in town too. There's art. She's into the arts up there.
Oh, really? Oh, is she an artist?
She she is an artist herself, but I think she likes the gentleness of the community up there.
Got it. Yeah, well, I kind of like Prescott. It's I've been there a number of times and hung out there, and it was okay. I wasn't incredibly enthused, but it was a nice just place to just chill and kick back at. They have stuff going on during the summertime, and they all have like every
they
weekend.
have some going on and
yeah. So anyhow, we're here with the Golden Age Music Show. We're gonna talk about your latest album, Lineage, and
thank you.
Yeah, and just to let you guys know, Marya Stark is a vocalist, composer, performer, and multi-instrumentalist. She is a discoverer of archetypes, a storyteller, and oracle bard, and muse. An Arizona native, Marya Stark first found her voice in the high desert, studying at the Arizona School for the Arts before earning a scholarship to Chapman Music Conservatory. While following the thread of classical vocal training, Marya's love of myth, psych, and sound healing led her to study music therapy. This training catalyzed Marya into a period of prolific songwriting as she just dedicated herself to narrating the journey of her own coming of age through the lens of sound and light, collecting songs as time capsules of the human experience. Let me see. Marya Stark's most recent release, Lineage, steeped in the healing of her own bloodline and the deeper energetics of womb medicine, has been described as a deep meditation on timeless ancient wisdom to solve our current times. The heartfelt passion in her message strikes a chord and shines through. There is profound wisdom and knowledge to be found in the lyrics of this new record, this new CD. While the overall vibe is uplifting, relaxing, and inspiring, she manages to strike a beautiful balance, delivering potent transmissions without coming off as too preachy or taking too much focus away from the music. And that quote was by Reality Sandwich. What the heck is a Reality Sandwich anyhow?
I think we'll have to take a bite and find out.
All right. If you want more information on Marya Stark and Lineage, you can go to www.maryastarkmusic.com and check it out from there. And we're going to come back and talk to Marya here now. I do want to give a big aloha to all of our underwriters that help make the show happen from week to week, month to month, year to year, beginning with the 90-Day Ascension Journey at www.90dayascensionjourney.com. When you sign up for the 90-Day Ascension Journey, you will be facilitated with defining and redefining your soul true life purpose. You will be assisted with finding out what Ascension means to you. On this journey, you will be provided with tools, techniques, and assistance to empower you to connect and reconnect with yourself, your emotions and feelings in your mind, body, and spirit. Through a universal soul-centered process, you will be going through a lifelong transformation that will allow you to move forward with your endeavors and never look back if you dare. And for those of you that are interested, and again, I wrote the book version of this about 3 years ago to supplement this journey, this mentoring program. And so you can go to Amazon.com and get it there. You can go to Kindle and get it for 99 cents. And if you got more questions or if you want to do the actual journey itself, you can get a hold of me, and then we'll talk about that. So anyhow, we also have Novate at www.spiritualimageproductions.novate.com with over 25,000 scientific papers published on colostrum, a 90-day guarantee, and winner of the Healthy Living People's Choice Award twice over. Novate focuses on helping people with weight loss, anti-aging, heart disease, diabetes, depression, high blood pressure, asthma, allergies, rheumatoid arthritis, inflammation, gout, lupus, fibromyalgia, Crohn's disease, cancers, ulcers, the polio virus, chronic infections, digestive disorders, Alzheimer's disease, autoimmune disease, thymus gland, mental clarity, maintenance and protection, and the immune system, synthesis and repair of the RNA and DNA, much, much more. And for those of you that are interested, I just viewed a video not too long ago with Danny Glover, who's endorsing this, and then also Dr. Oz, who's endorsing the colostrum version of this. So, you know, if you want to check it out, or if you have questions, you can let me know, get a hold of me, and then we'll talk about it. So we also have Maha Dakini Lorraine at www.mahadakini.com. Maha Dakini Lorraine's life has been a personal journey exploring sexuality and spirituality for over 20 years. She's a certified tantric counselor and tantric healer and a certified mind sound teacher. Maha Dakini Lorraine is also a graduate of Margot Non's year-long Skydance and Tantra Facilitator Training Program, as well as a current member of the American Association of Sex Educators, Counselors, and Therapists Club, and a charter member of the Association of Sexual Energy Professionals. She regularly attends trainings and conferences to keep current with the latest research and information on sexual education. And then finally, we do have the 2018 MUFON Symposium at www.mufonsymposium.com. MUFON is the oldest and largest civilian UFO investigative organization in the United States, with over 4,000 members worldwide in 43 countries and in all 50 states. MUFON has over 500 certified field investigators deployed worldwide, including myself. And this year's 2018 MUFON Symposium will be held at the Crown Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, from the 27th through the 29th of July, with its theme being UFOs, extraterrestrials, and the future of humanity. Various speakers from all over the country will be presenting, including Peter Robbins, Dr. Don C. Donderi, and Randall Nickerson. Register now at the symposium website. See you there soon. And if you happen to be there and notice me there, just drop by and at least give me a high five and let me know that you're there, and just be with the flow. And if you get abducted, well, I can't help you there. That's just the way it goes, and then you'll just have to go for a ride. That's all it's doing. But anyhow, we have Marya Stark here, all the way out of Santa Cruz, California. What the heck's going on, Marya?
Well, I've just been enjoying a gentle Sunday. It's a little overcast here in Santa Cruz, and just coming out of a big, nice full moon week where I had a big fire on the beach. You ever have a big fire? You just burn it all up, burn up.
Yeah, I haven't done that in a long time, but yeah, would you do a full moon ceremony or something?
I did. I had a big full moon ritual fire, and I got to burn things that I've been waiting years to burn, like some old artwork that was just, I was ready to let it go, and it was time to set some fire, and it burned a lot faster than I thought. I was going to take my time to really just like let it burn and be ceremonial about it, but it all kind of just lit up and burned away real quick. I guess it was ready to go.
Yeah, it sounds like to me like you should have been burning that a long time ago.
It was ready. It was ready.
Right? I guess so. I haven't done a fire ceremony. I don't know how long. It's been a while, but it is what it is. No, today, you know, I woke up this morning and it was an incredibly just amazing morning. Just clear skies, blue skies, no chemtrails, no clouds, very little wind, and it was just it was a little bit brisk, but it was just amazing. I took a couple of pictures and put them on Instagram just to show how my morning, how I woke up this morning. But that's besides the point. It was pretty cool. Now
we're here.
You've been on our show before, and I can't remember what was the album that you presented on our show last time. I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure that was for the garden.
Oh, I think it was. You were dressed up in, I don't know, it looked like you were in a Chinese outfit with all these flowery stuff things on your outfit.
Yeah, we'd made a big garden deva.
Yeah. And then
yeah,
and now
flowers.
And since then you've actually done 2 other albums besides Lineage. Is that correct?
I did. I released an album, a children's album of all songs about Qigong and energy for children and families. That was just inspired by my work in medical Qigong therapy and inspired by working with children for a lot of years. And then last year I released an album with my sister Carmen Crow, Mama Crow, called Scarlet Crow, and that album's called Remembrance. And she and I have been touring that album all year, and that album's been doing really well. It's been getting out there, and I'd say that this album Lineage is my response. It's like the continuation of a lot of the prayers that we were doing in that cycle. And yeah.
No, because now when I said this earlier, I did an update. You know, I do a Facebook Live video and just kind of give people updates of what's going on, like once a week. And in that video and that talk, that update, I told these guys that and not that I don't like your music or that I think it's bad or anything, but I didn't know what to expect. And so I listened to your album, and I was surprised because there was a lot of songs in there that I really liked, and I thought, wow, this was better than I thought it was going to be. And again, not that
awesome.
You know, that was even worse than that was a bad thing, but that was a good thing because I was pleasantly surprised. And I can't remember. I go back, and I literally had to listen to the album about 2 or 3 times at least because I thought, man, I want to try to remember all these songs, but so much for that idea, because I forgot all the songs already, but that's besides the point. But that's what I got you here for, right?
Hey, totally. We're here together.
Right. So let me see now. When you say you go tour, where are you touring to? What are you doing? What do you mean?
Well, I've been traveling to a lot of different cities and states and to play shows, either small gatherings or big events that are being put on, or festivals, or sometimes I'm being invited I teach a lot at retreats, and so I'll go for a retreat and teach, and then also do some shows. So in this last year, it's been all of that. It's been a combination of private shows and festivals and larger shows and retreats.
Well, what are you teaching? I mean, at these retreats, what do you mean?
Oh, well, I'm in addition to doing music, and this is the big piece that has come in with this album with Lineage, is I've been teaching. Well, my background's in music therapy, and I've been studying for my own development all kinds of stuff: relationship health, compassionate communication, qigong, embodiment, art, and ritual theater, and songwriting as a practice of personal development, or songwriting as soulcraft. And so when I've been more and more teaching, I've been working within a curriculum that I've developed called The Voice of My Womb, which is a songwriting curriculum that's based in ecstatic singing, energetics, and womb wisdom. So I've been doing a lot of work with women doing womb healing, and empowering the voice, and doing learning how to sing as a daily spiritual and personal energetic practice to connect with the self and connect our voice to the womb, and then also be able to summon the muse and work with the muse. And because there's a lot of people that I talk to, they're like, oh my gosh, your music's so beautiful, I want to make music, there's music living inside of me. And I meet hundreds of people like that. I believe there's music that lives in all of us. There's art that lives in all of us. And so as an expressive arts therapist, I love working with people and cultivating that, and actually taking the time, that those voices that are aching to be heard within us, they deserve to be heard. And so I've been doing a lot of teaching on that.
Well, let me ask you this. Part of the mentoring program, because when I do the mentoring program, I've done it with enough people that I got a good idea of what its effects are. But anyhow, I teach people the foundation of what it takes to be enlightened, live the lifestyle of an enlightened being, and then I teach them the practices of what to do and how to do it, so that they can get there and maintain themselves there. But and part of this program, I do what you call the Master Soul Cleanser program, where I literally go in and help people tap into clearing up all their connections. Well, not only from the present, but from the past and the future. And part of that Master Soul Cleanser program, I also do what you call an inner child, inner womb technique. Have you ever heard of this inner child technique?
I've heard of a lot of inner child techniques. I'd be curious to know the one that you're working with.
Yeah, it's very powerful, and it's amazing because I structure, I help people structure. I just go through a lot of healing in the womb, not only for this lifetime but for past and future lifetimes too. So it's like it's
beautiful.
a program or a design that they choose for themselves, and so that they can, whenever they're born, they can be born with all the support they need when they get there. So it's like that.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But anyhow, and now what are the festivals that you're attending? What are all these festivals that you're going?
Well, I've been playing a lot of transformational music festivals, and let's see, the festivals that I've been playing recently. I just came back from Project Earth, and we played. Scarlet Crow got to play out there in Minnesota, and that was amazing with the Wookiefoot family. It was a really sweet festival, and it was at Harmony Park. It was gorgeous outside. There were lightning bugs, and it was thundering outside, so it was like the warm, hot summer, but also there was this like the rolling winds coming in. I also just came back from Spirit Weavers Gathering, which was a gathering for 2 weeks of gathering down in Southern Oregon with 800 women that were all coming to share ancestral knowledge and and skills trade, and it wasn't quite a festival, it was more of a gathering, but it was a beautiful experience to get to teach and also share music there. Those are a couple of the festivals just recently. I'm trying to think of other. I was in Portland in May, playing at an event at the Crystal Ballroom with some really incredible artists, Desert Dwellers, Deazova, my brother Sabequius, and got to share some songs there from the record. Nice. Yeah, life's good. And coming up, there's going to be Imagine Festival, which is happening in September on Orcas Island, and of course the beloved Oregon Country Fair, which is a 50-year fair, and I'll be going up there in July.
Oh, really? When in July?
July 13th through the 15th.
Oh, so that's coming up in about a couple of weeks or so.
Yeah, just a couple of weeks. I'll be on the road again.
Right. So when you tour, you don't just go from city to city for like 1 or 2 months, 3 months or whatever. And I know people that do that, but or do you just go from one festival to another and then come home and then take off again and just.
I mean, I'm kind of a back and forthy. I have gone to places for a month at a time, or like 3 weeks at a time, and it's changing. It really just depends on the year. I'm going to be taking like the rest of the year. I'll just be going back and forth to home. But looking at 2019, I'll probably be on the road for a couple of months, going into many different places, looking at going to all along the West Coast and even heading out east.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. I'm getting ready to go out to the MUFON symposium at the end of this month.
Nice.
And so that's going to take a lot out of me. I don't know what to expect, but I have the feeling. It's kind of funny because whenever a couple of years ago, last year I went to Vegas. Didn't they have that big shooting out in Vegas?
Oh yeah.
Wasn't that last year? And then the year before that, it was in Florida, and there was a bunch of stuff that happened in Florida. It's like there's a whole clearing process that happens before we get there. It's kind of weird and kind of interesting. But in Florida, and then last year, and then this year, there's a whole clearing process that's happening in New Jersey. Like, I don't know if you've watched, what you do all the time, but if you watch the news, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in New Jersey lately.
Wow, I haven't seen.
So, and I just kind of like make a mental note of stuff like that, and I don't know what the reasoning of a lot of this stuff is. It's like do you know who Amachi the Hugging Saint is?
I do.
Yeah, and I told this woman, what was it, a couple of weeks ago? I said Amachi the Hugging Saint is in Los Angeles. She's going to come through here. She's going to go to. She's on her way to New Mexico, and it's probably going to rain. And that's exactly what happened. Like the day after she got done doing her last thing up in Los Angeles, it started getting cloudy, and then literally about a day later, they were already in New Mexico. It was really cloudy for about 3 or 4 days, and then it poured, literally poured for about a whole day. And then literally she finished up in New Mexico. The next day she was done, and it cleared up, and then she took off and she went to Dallas, Texas, or whatever after that. So, but
wow.
Yeah, I've seen that several times when a saint comes into town. It usually rains, like the day before or the day of. It'll rain at least once, one out of those days, and then when they take off, it clears right after they get here. It clears up, and it's a beautiful day, and then they keep going with whatever they're doing. Yeah, I've seen that happen lots of times. But anyhow, so what's next in your now Lineage? What's the deal with Lineage? How come you wrote Lineage? Or you did Lineage? What inspired you to do this album?
Awesome. Well, so this album was inspired. 2 years ago, I participated in a performance called the Yoniverse Monologues, where I had developed a story from my true life as a woman, very intimate story that I shared and Serena Andrea, a brilliant storyteller and coach, on storytelling, and she just held the process for a group of us women to really get personal and authentic and raw and truth-telling. And it was a profoundly healing experience. It was deeply activating. I went through a lot of layers of healing that I had not engaged with at that point, up until that point. And a lot of the songs that came out through Lineage were actually written backstage. I was backstage getting ready for the performances, and these songs were coming in to support the women in their stories and just to give us strength to go and tell our healing journey. Now, just before then, I had been working very strongly in the container of Scarlet Crow, which is the album that I released the previous year. We released the album last year, but we were working up to that release during that time also. And I was teaching with Laurel Kitten, an incredible wisdom keeper around the womb mysteries. And we taught a workshop up in Seattle, and on the drive home, and it was profound. I mean, she took us through such deep healing in order to prepare to do that teaching. And on the drive down, I was driving from Seattle to Portland. I had an image come into my mind, which is the image of the cover, the CD cover, of me standing all dressed in red with all of these masks around my head that were my ancestors. And I realized, I was like, I want to make this costume sculpture piece, because at that point I had been really interested, diving into archetypal embodiment and storytelling and theatrical embodiment as a healing process of crafting a soul image and bringing a soul image from the invisible realms all the way through, and what a journey like that takes. And so I had that image, and then all of a sudden all of these songs came in, and I realized that it was a whole album that was going with this soul image.
Yeah, right.
And so then I recorded all of the songs later that summer, actually in Las Vegas that you mentioned it. So I recorded them in the summer of 2016. I went out and did a private retreat and recorded the songs, and then took another year to tidying them up, I had some amazing sisters come bless the songs with their beautiful voices and powerful souls, and just got ready to release it. And we finally got it ready for release in May. It took that time to cook it, and it was a big soul retrieval. And each of the masks on the CD cover, they're connected to one of my grandmothers or one of my great grandmothers, and so I got to do a lot of prayers for my lineage and for my grandmothers and for their wombs and for the imprints that they were carrying and for the things that they didn't mourn, and the imprints that we, like womb after womb, carry with us, and how I was carrying stuff for my lineage, and then also was able to complete certain parts of that process so that I could stand more fully in my sovereignty as an artist with a clear womb and get ready to share new stories. So this was a very important part of my healing journey, and has really made the way of creating now, which is really exciting. And this is all of these songs on Lineage, they're chants. They're meant to be circle songs. They're meant to be taught in women's circles. And they have been. I've been teaching them for 2 years in women's circles, and it's been fun. I've probably sung them with several thousand women at this point, and they're spreading, and which is fun. Even before the album came out, many people were coming to me, and because they had heard my songs, I was getting gigs at festivals and at retreats because people had heard these songs that I had written, but they hadn't been recorded yet. And so it was really sweet to see the power of the medicine that came through in response to women breaking their silence and being vulnerable and doing this deeper shadow healing work and claiming their voices. What a powerful wave that has become. And you're
exactly.
You see it like so I feel really grateful to steward these particular songs and be teaching them with women and in workshop and in live, and then supporting women in discovering their own womb songs and clearing their own voices through them.
Now, has that been especially true within the last several months, since last October?
Since the Me Too, I mean, it's definitely amplified the field. Although I'll say, for my experience, we were really steeped in it beforehand, but something definitely popped in the collective right after that.
Because October of last year, Jupiter went into Scorpio, which meant a lot of healing, sexual healing going on, a lot of healing with passion, and I think a lot of it had to do with women healing with rape, with all that stuff, and being abused, and so. But then Jupiter went retrograde a few months ago, I think about 3 months ago. But guess what? Next week, I think it's next week on the 10th. No, I take it back. A week from Tuesday, I believe, Jupiter's going to go direct again. So that means it's
going to be major.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be huge. It's already been huge, and I don't know that it's going to get any bigger, but it's going to push more healing, sexual healing, healing with passion, healing with abuse. And I think most of it is going to be with women. I think a lot of men will go through it too, but I think it's going to mostly help heal a lot of women out there. That's what I think is going to happen. And again,
and there's an eclipse that's happening right then too. I think on the 12th or the 13th.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah,
that's going to be
where
powerful.
Our summer eclipse cycles come in. Yeah.
And what eclipse? Where is it going to be at, or do you know?
I don't know.
Is it? What sign is it going to be in, or do you know?
Solar eclipse is happening. Well, it's a new moon solar eclipse, so it's in Cancer. It's 20 degrees Cancer.
Oh, Cancer. Oh, wow. Healing with mothers. Wow, that's going to be powerful.
It's on my mom's birthday.
A lot of moms are going to be going through a lot of healing.
Solar eclipse.
Wow, your mom is going to be in for a treat, a big treat.
Yeah, happy birthday, Mommy.
Right? Happy birthday, Mom.
Eclipses to your son. Those are big. That's a big year. That I after the big eclipse of last year, I had a couple friends whose birthday was on the eclipse, and their whole year was totally like an incredible, huge changes.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Well, my mother's birthday is in Scorpio, and so my I think my dad's wife, her birthday is in Scorpio, I believe, as well, which means, and they're going to go through some major healing too. So that's going to be interesting to see all that unfold. Wow, that's going to be. But I think it's good. They've been long overdue for it, and the sooner the better. I think so that they can move on with their lives. I think, not that they're stuck or anything or else. I don't know. Oh man, are you kidding me? I kid you not. This has not happened since like for, I think I did a reset full moon festival, a full moon meditation, and right in the middle of my meditation, my computer was turned off, and literally my computer was turned off just now again. And then when I say it was turned off, I'm pretty sure somebody went in and turned off my computer. I kid you not. Because this never happened. This never happened. Gosh. So there literally some jerk off is hacking into my computer and turn off the power source to turn off my computer. And man, are you kidding me? and now that and I don't know. They put a virus in it or something. So I don't know what's going on. But anyhow, hang on. But anyhow, we could still we're still good because one of the reasons I changed, and after that last time when my computer was turned off, I changed the formatting for that reason, and so we're okay right now. So I'm not.
Okay, good. That's good.
We didn't lose the show. My computer's just been turned off. That's all.
We're still here. We're still here with the phone.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah. All right. So whoever the jerk off was that turned off my computer, they can kiss my ass literally because they didn't screw up our show. That's what I say.
Oh.
So you're an idiot, dude. All right. Let me see. So anyhow, and looks like they tried to put in a virus in it or something. I don't know what, but anyhow, so let me see. So you put together this album out in Las Vegas. That's when you put. Oh, I know. Where did you said you went to the studio and recorded it? Where do you record your albums, or how do you do your albums?
Yeah, every album is a little bit different. So I for the last few albums, this one included, I self-recorded. So I have a recording setup that I traveled to Las Vegas with, and I do like the majority of the capturing there. And then
so you're saying you have a portable studio that you can, a mobile studio you can take wherever you want?
That's right.
Okay, sure, why not? In this day and age, it works that way, I'm sure. But anyhow, so you took your studio with you, knowing that would be a possibility, and but you didn't know if you were going to be recording an album there or not.
Oh no, I did. I knew I went there with the intention of recording. So I took my recordings, recorded the album. And then I went offline for about 8 days and recorded all of the songs, and then I came home and then I recorded all my friends on them, and then I took them to my other friend, and he mixed it. He's a mixing engineer, so he mixed it and tidied it all up, and we
oh wow, okay,
working on it together.
I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you.
Yeah. But that's different than the album, like The Garden. The last time I was here, I did that whole album in a professional studio. I did that at the Gadget Box in Santa Cruz, which is very special. And I'm actually currently working on another album with that kind, like with it, which is kind of a merging of worlds of like I started a lot of stuff, and then we're taking it into the real studio and like really evolving it. Yeah, my way of recording albums has really evolved the more I've been able to learn how to do certain steps myself.
Wow. So that's cool. And you do that with all your albums, or just this one?
Well, Lineage was a simpler album, so I did that. I just did that myself, and then had my friend mix it. But this album that I'm working on now, yeah, I mean, it's taking on a life of its own. I'm working with Joshua Penman, an incredible new music composer based in San Francisco, and so he and I did a lot of recording myself, and then I took it to him, and he's arranging it, and then we're going to the major studios to play strings and guitar and final vocals. So all of the final captures will be done in the nice studio, but we're doing a lot of work with the composition in our own studio spaces. So it's an emergent journey how to record, especially in this day and age. Like, you can record really nice sound without a lot of high tech gear. It's nice to work with people who have the nice rooms also, and who know the science of capturing sound. I don't know the details, like the math behind capturing sound. So I capture certain kinds of sound, and it's novice and it sounds nice. You know, it's like Lineage, for example. This album is mostly vocals and percussion. It sounds really nice. It's simple. Doesn't need the high tech vibe that we're going for when we're bringing in strings and percussion, making a bigger sound image.
Well, do you have or have you ever worked with a whole orchestra?
I haven't, not with a whole orchestra, but string quartets. So I've worked with That's the most.
Have you thought about working with the whole orchestra, or do you want
I
to?
mean, I've dreamed about it, sure.
Right?
Any orchestras listening here, I have music ready to go. Let's do it.
Yeah, right. Well, what about movies? Have you thought about working with movies at all?
I mean, all of this music is ready to be placed in film, and it's getting the right film placement. So I'm available.
Have you done any movies?
I've had these songs placed. I've had songs do get placed a little bit. I've had a couple of placements, more like minor films. I don't know if anything that you've seen, but a little bit. I've had a little up there.
Yeah. So, because I've noticed because I'm a big movie buff, and eventually I want to do movies further down the road, maybe a documentary or something. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how I want to do it yet, but the movies that seem to do the best, or that seem user friendly and enjoyable, are the ones that have the best music. Not only like have good music, but they also have the engineers have the music set up so that the music is not like, whenever there's a commercial, they have they all of a sudden they crank up the sound volume so it's like obnoxious, right? And so some of the movies, they're that way. They put on the music and it's really loud and it's obnoxious. Why even bother putting music in there if it's going to be obnoxious? That doesn't make sense. So they don't really balance the sound quality very good, and so it's like that. But anyhow, what's the name of this album that you're working on?
The album that I'm working on right now is called
The
Sapphire.
new one. Sapphire. Oh,
Sapphire.
really? That's Virgo energy.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, that's the gemstone for Virgo.
The gemstone for Virgo. I'm not a Virgo. I don't have any Virgo in my chart, but that's the name of the album.
Well, I'm telling you now. I know the sapphire. Sapphire is the gemstone for Virgo. It's blue, right?
It's blue. It's deep blue.
Yeah, that's well. I mean, that's I'm a Virgo sun sign, but it just depends on how you calculate everything. I mean, I do, when I do astrology, I do two different types of charts. I do a regular personality chart, which is a Western-based type of astrology chart, and then I do the soul chart, which is the day that the soul comes in, connects with the fetus, which is about 3 to 4 weeks after the day of conception. So and usually that's around 7 months, maybe sometimes 8. It just varies. But I backtrack, and because I've done charts before, and the person will go, no, that's not it, and I'll do the soul chart, and all of a sudden everything's yes, that's correct. So it's like that. So and I've done lots and lots of charts, and people just they flip out when I give them I'll give them information that most psychics or astrologers won't give them because they don't know about it. So. All right. So what else do you want to talk to us? Tell us about Marya Stark that's going on.
Wow. Anything. I could share anything right now.
We got all night long, honey. That's all I gotta say. Right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm loving life right now. I'm loving getting to make music. I love making these records. I'm teaching an online class right now, which is going to start again at the end of September. Again, it's called Voice of My Womb, and it's a class for women. It's a 3-month online container where we dive into voice, vocal alchemy, and voice for healing and integration, and also energetic calibration and songwriting, and womb healing and the womb mysteries that are steeped in the last two albums. And so I'm super stoked about that. I just love talking about songwriting and the muse and how to call to the muse. And I love creative arts containers where we really get to focus in on our intention and hone in on a frequency, you know, and it's fun because the album that we're here with Lineage, like that's what happened, that we really honed in on an image and on a frequency. And I spent several months or like years cooking inside of it. And this album is the offering that was as a dedication to this like one through line. And so I love the power of our minds and our intention and what happens to us when we do commit to ourselves in that way. And I know that you're really deep into enlightenment process and embodiment process, and that's a commitment. It takes focus. It takes time.
Well, right.
Cooking and
exactly.
that support. And so I love talking about those things. And yeah, I think that's just what's in my big heart right now. And I recently came back from Glastonbury, where I was out visiting. I went to go be with the healing waters of the Chalice Well, and there's beautiful stories out there. And so I'm really personally in a very expanded state of my life where I'm looking forward to traveling and seeing where this music wants to go, and actually connecting to sacred sites in different parts of the world, and seeing what songs want to come through in those areas, in those parts of the world. I'm really looking forward to going to Iceland. You know, the Northern Lights have been humming to me. Have you ever seen the Northern Lights, Andrew?
I haven't seen them in person, but I've seen them before. And you know, I don't know that I actually want to go out of my way to go see them in person, but you know, if it came down my path, I'd consider it.
I definitely want to go. I feel like that's the next place calling me.
Oh, really? Interesting. I think there's some UFO bases out there nearby.
Oh.
That people haven't tapped into, or maybe the government does know, but they just haven't publicized it yet. But because there's Iceland's near the top of the earth, right?
That's right.
And so there's a big hole. I don't know if you've ever seen the earth in its true form, and from what I understand, there's a big. It's like a donut. There's a big hole in the middle, and literally pilots can fly huge planes right into the middle of the earth. I mean, from the bottom. So, and I think Iceland's near that. So, and I think, and maybe that's why the Northern Lights are actually, working or happening the way they are, because of all that interaction going on there. I don't know. So I don't know why all that happens, but that's what I'm assuming. I don't know.
Beautiful. I've read a little bit about the Northern Lights. It's like something about the sun ricocheting off some electromagnetic field, and then it creates these crazy colors. But I love the idea that it could have to do with some ET shit. I mean, stuff. I think that would be really fun. Some UFO magic.
Right. Have you seen some ETs?
Like I have had some interesting encounters with other kinds of beings. I don't know if I would call them ETs, but definitely I've had moments.
Have you seen UFOs?
I have never seen a UFO.
Really? Oh my God! No. Really? I was in California visiting some people, and you know, out here in Sedona, I see them all the time, and if you're telepathic, you can talk to them too. But literally, I looked out in the stars, and sure enough, I seen a UFO, and I said, "Hey man, look there, see that star? That's the UFO." And he goes, "Oh, really?" So he goes and gets a telescope. And I said, okay. So I lined it up, and sure enough, it was a cigar-shaped UFO that kept shifting back and forth. Yeah, horizontal to vertical, vertical to horizontal. Oh yeah, it kept shifting back and forth. And he looked through the telescope, and sure enough, he's seen it himself as well. So
wow,
and
it's about.
Oh yeah, I've seen all kinds of stuff, but that's funny. So I don't know. We can either talk through this whole thing or we can play some music. What do you want to do? There's some more stuff you want to tell us about?
Let's hear some music.
You want to hear some music? Okay. Yeah, let's give them a taste of some of your stuff, because there's some really nice stuff. I can't remember it all, but or any of it, right? But there's some stuff that I really liked. I really liked it.
Yeah, maybe we can play a song, like some songs, and then talk about them.
Okay.
Why don't we play this song called Prosperity Codex? I imagine your listeners would love that one.
Okay. And so give us the scoop behind Prosperity Codex. Or do you want to wait till afterwards?
Codex, yeah, maybe I'll share afterwards.
Okay, so let's send out some love, blessings, healing, angels of the light and love to the idiot that's trying to screw with my system, my computer, and my show. To him and his family and friends for being an idiot. But to anybody you want to add to that?
To all the people who are still living in scarcity, I offer this song as a prayer of coming into alignment with prosperity at the deepest level. Okay.
So this is a very short song. We're going to go ahead and start that. Prosperity Codex from the album Lineage by Marya Stark, and we'll be back.
Ruby light at the root of my tongue, opening song line sung from the mother of the sapphire light at the seat of my heart. Timelines healing, codes revealing, and amethyst light in the crest of my eye. Violet flame burns bright with the wise and emerald light in the palm of my hand, flowing forth to restore these lands in the citrine light in the sun of my heart. Amber warming, star seeds forming in diamond light in the bones of my spine. Rivers rising, bliss igniting, ruby light is the root of my tongue. Opening song line sung from the mother of the sapphire light in the feet of my heart. Timelines healing, codes revealing, in amethyst light in the crest of my eye. Violet flame burns bright with the wise and emerald light in the palm of my hand, flowing forth to restore these lands in the citrine light in the sun of my heart. Amber warming, star seeds forming in diamond night in the bones of my spine. Rivers rising, bliss igniting, ruby light is the root of my tongue. Opening song line sung from the mother of the sapphire light in the feet of my heart. Timelines healing, codes revealing, in amethyst light in the crest of my eyes. Violet flame burns bright with the wise and emerald light in the palm of my hand, flowing forth to restore these lands in the citrine light in the sun of my heart. Amber warming, star seeds forming in diamond light in the bones of my spine. Rivers rising, igniting, ruby light at the root of my tongue. Opening song line sung from the mother of the one.
From the mother of the one. All right. So give us the scoop. What does this song mean? What is it? Even the title is very interesting.
Prosperity Codex. So this song, I chose some of my favorite prosperity gemstones, and there's a lot of meaning to the song. That there's a prayer. The ruby light at the root of the tongue is an empowerment for speech, for the things that we say be pure, for the things that we say be cleansed with the fires of the passion that lives within the depth of us. And that when we're speaking our prayers around manifestation, around prosperity specifically, to have that energetic there. And then these other stones that were that's how it came in. One of my mentors, she kept looking at me last year. I was in an immersion with her, and she says, "Ruby light at the root of your tongue, activate it now." And I've heard this prayer before. It's been part of my mind stream for a while. I've been thinking about the ruby, and actually, the ruby light was a big part of the lineage, and thinking about the healing of the bloodline, and thinking about lineage of our families and the womb and the crimson codes of the moon blood. And so to have that pure essence to come into everything that we say, everything that we think and do. And then the rest of the stones they're different stones connected to prosperity. And so I wanted to create a prayer that was inlaying them into our being, because it's one thing to make work with gemstones. Well, how do we work with gemstones? We can make elixirs, we can hold them, we can use them with our intention. But what if we put them in our body? What if we sang them, these essence qualities, into all the different parts of our body, so that we become a chalice of prosperity, that we're walking gem elixirs of prosperity. And so that's the prayer with this song, is to be an activation, to remind us that we're the source of the overflowing rivers of abundance that are possible, and that alignment is possible. And so this is a song to support that for folks who are into that around frequency and gemstones and prosperity.
So if I hear you correctly, it's a prayer for prosperity. Is that what I heard you say?
Yeah, and it's a prayer for prosperity beyond what we think around money. It's prosperity on really becoming an overflowing source of essence for all of creation. That we are emanating as an overflowing cup of prosperity, rather than I'm attracting money and finances. It's not so much. It's different than that. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's not necessarily where I sit with my own game around prosperity. I've been in a deep contemplation around it, right? Where does our relationship with money and prosperity, especially looking at womb and creative energy, and looking at the codex of our root chakra and our sacral chakra, which a lot of this music is a clearing for, and a recalibration around that. Money is a big piece of that, and scarcity is a big piece of that for a lot of us, with good reason. Evidence that there's not going to be enough, but there's also so much evidence that there's an overflow, and so there's a lot to share about it. It's a big topic. This was actually the last song that I wrote that ended up making it on this record, and it came after doing a huge womb healing, and I was with a group of women, and this was a major piece that a lot of us were working out, and so this song came through to support those women in that moment, and then I just really loved singing it, and so I decided to record it real quick, even though the rest of the record had been recorded. I was like, I want to get this one on there.
Well, no wonder it's such a short song. Now, it's interesting because I agree with you. Well, first of all, I believe there's a lot of toxicity that's connected to money, around the world. And so one of the things I've been doing is clearing that toxicity. And if that was done on a pure level, I don't think we would have problems with money like we have in this day and age. It's so unbalanced and so
right.
There's so much greed around it, and literally violence and death and murder around money. People, if that was all cleared, I think there would be a lot of this balance. This whole planet would be balanced a lot better, and people would behave a lot better, and they wouldn't react the way they've been doing lately, especially. It seems like. So okay, what else you got for us? Go ahead.
Awesome. Well, let's take a listen to the song called. I'd say let's go with Lineage, the title track.
Yeah, I think I remember. I can't remember what it sounded, but how it sounded, but I think I liked that song too as well. So okay, so we're going to go ahead and play Lineage. So let's go ahead and send out love, blessings, healings, angels of light and love to you, Marya, and your family and friends, to me and my family and friends, to all our vehicles and places of residence that help take care of us, to the symposium that I'm going to go to, and all the people that are going to be attending that. And
beautiful.
Anyone else you want to add to that right now?
I'd love to add who've lost loved ones, who've lost people in their own families right now, and they're sitting inside of the change and the grief and the passage that is death.
That's a good idea. Let's send out love, blessings, healings, angels, and light, love to you. All the people that have passed on in their family and friends within the last year, and there's been a lot of people, and been a lot of open shootings, people just blasting people and all kinds of stuff. So and to all those people. So we will be back. Lineage by Marya Stark from her album Lineage, and we will be back.
Lineage, 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 as I dance on the spiral through the passage of these rites, with the wisdom of the cycle and the mother blood that gives me life, in the waking of her daughter, in the burying of these bones, to the birthing waters, where I find myself reborn. I honor my lineage, lineage, as I honor my lineage, lineage, as I honor my lineage, lineage, I honor my lineage, lineage, as I dance on the spiral through the passage of these rites, with the wisdom of the cycle and the mother blood that gives me life, in the waking of her daughters, and the burying of these bones, to the birthing waters, where I find myself reborn. I honor my lineage, lineage, I honor my lineage, lineage, as I honor my lineage, lineage, I honor my lineage, lineage.
And we're back. This is Aloha live out of Flagstaff, Arizona, with Spiritual Image Productions on Blog Talk Radio and pre-conference call. and YouTube. Establishing and maintaining right relationships with human lives. Tonight we're doing the Golden Age Music Show here with Marya Stark, all the way out of Santa Cruz, California, with her album Lineage. And so we just played the song called Lineage out of that album. Well, give us a scoop behind Lineage. What's the deal with Lineage?
This song I wrote, one of my best friends, Tangelina, was having a baby. And this was a song that I wrote while she was in labor with her little girl, Amalia, who's my goddaughter. And this song came in as a celebration of the rites of passage that women go through from the, and we all go through rites of passage, and really tracking the different rites of passage that women go through, the birth, having their first blood, giving birth, holding their blood, and then death, and then of course making love as the major rites of passage of the body and of the psyche. And so honoring those rites that we walk on, and all of them that are part of the spiral of an art incarnation. And so this song is to celebrate both the lives that we're leaving from our prenatal realm, from before we incarnate, to the journey that we go through as a being who chooses a mother and chooses to come through that womb, and for women who choose to give birth, the changes that they go through in their body and their soul to become a mother and prepare for that, and for the men who are also preparing to be fathers. And just what is it to truly be aware of these major life changes that happen, and how can we honor the changes that all of our family has gone through, generation after generation after generation, just to prepare to have us be in existence. And in that prayer, with the lineage of our souls and the lineage of our bloodline, just honoring that these major ways that we have to change just to embrace each other, just to be alive and in relationship, and when new life comes in, how these new souls and spirits bring so much with them, and can create so much new coherency in a field, just honoring life, giving life to life.
So let me ask you this: is it safe to say that every one of these songs on this album are all prayers? Is that true?
Absolutely.
Okay. So or a meditation, maybe, I guess.
This is definitely, and I think this is an album full of circle songs, so prayer songs, chants.
Got it. You said purple songs?
Circle.
Is that what I heard? Circles.
Circles, sitting in a circle, teaching them. They're all songs to be sung in groups.
Got it. Oh, interesting. So I hadn't thought about that. So, all right. What do we got next? Up for back.
Yeah, I'd love to have us hear the song "Breaking the Silence."
Breaking the Silence. All right. I have to find it first. Yeah, it's a good thing that I had these downloaded or uploaded on free conference call, because they still haven't and this never happened. They still haven't downloaded onto BlogTalkRadio yet, which is kind of strange.
I'm glad that you had a backup. You're very
right. Somebody went through great lengths to really sabotage the show, and I'm saying that in a nice way, literally. And I don't know, what you must have some real power going on, because somebody really went out of the way to try to sabotage the show tonight. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and play Breaking the Silence by Marya Stark from her album Lineage. We're going to send out love, blessings, healings, angels of light, and love to all the kids on the planet, all the children, all the babies, all the teenagers, especially the ones that need concern. Anybody you want to add to that? And to the parents.
Sending this song out to the ones who've been in silence around their pain. This is a song for breaking the silence, and really what happens when we begin to move forward and speak our truth about hard, challenging life circumstances.
Okay, to all the people that have been abused. Okay, I think maybe that's a good direction to go. So Breaking the Silence by Marya Stark from her album Lineage. We will be back.
Woman telling her story. Come on, from the heart of the mystery dispel years of violence. We are breaking the silence. Woman, telling her story. Come on, from the heart of the mystery dispel years of violence. We are breaking the silence, 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 breaking the silence. Let your voices be heard. There is healing in your words. Let your voices be heard. There is healing, there is healing. Let your voices be heard. There is healing in your words. Let your voices be heard. There is healing, there is healing. Woman, telling her story. Come on, from the heart of the mystery dispel years of violence. We are breaking the silence. Woman, telling her story. Come on, from the heart of the mystery dispel years of violence. We are breaking the silence, 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 breaking the silence. Let your voices be heard. There is healing in your words. Let your voices be heard. There is healing, there is healing. Let your voices be heard. There is healing in your words. Let your voices be heard. There is healing, 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 there is healing. Break the silence, woman, telling her story. Come on, from the heart of the mystery dispel years of violence. We are breaking the silence. Woman, telling her story. Come on, from the heart of the mystery dispel years of violence. We are breaking the silence, breaking the silence, breaking the silence, breaking the silence. Breaking the silence, breaking the silence, breaking the silence, breaking the silence, breaking the silence.
And we're back. Golden Age Music Show with Marya Stark from California, all the way in California, with their album Lineage. So, go ahead, Marya. What's the scoop behind this Breaking the Silence song? Are you with us, Marya?
Sorry, I was on mute there for a second. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Awesome. Yeah.
I think Verizon should pay us money to do a commercial for them. That's what I think.
They totally coined that phrase forever, huh?
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, I created that song backstage during the Universe. That was one of the major songs inspired by women literally telling their most vulnerable stories on stage in front of hundreds of people, and just being so inspired to see how they changed, and how the community that was experiencing them, what kinds of changes that everybody went through, in witnessing the power of the storyteller come through for like that journey. And it's an incredible thing to be a part of and to witness. And so I just have seen time and time again how when we do come clean with ourselves, even if we just have the witness of a fire or witness of one other person, it can just support so much release, and we let ourselves off the hook from a whole part of our identity and the way that we've trapped ourselves. There's so much healing in giving voice and name to discomfort and grief and sorrow, and true mourning can happen, which can make the way for profound love to enter. And for when we've experienced trauma or deep loss that haven't been able to speak about it directly because it might involve family members or it might involve people that we love too, and it's confusing, then we can stay trapped and not fully in our bodies, not fully alive. And so that song to support coming alive and saying what we need to say and sharing our truth so that we can allow any experiences that we've had to have their place in witness, and then see what more is possible.
Yeah, I hear you. I think it was yesterday, because I'm always working with programs, and I get all these realizations that come through from various different levels and different things. And one of the things that I got yesterday was very interesting because, people pray to God, Goddess, and they ask for forgiveness for this, for that, and whatever's going on. And I switched it around and I said, God, Goddess, I forgive you for all the pain you've ever caused me. I forgive you for this and that and this and that and this and that. And wow, there was like a big shift that took place I could feel it going through my body. It was just blowing me away. I wasn't expecting that. And so for all women, all people, everyone, I recommend you do the same thing. Just if we're all one, everything's one, then by forgiving God, Goddess, of all the stuff that's going on in your life or has been going on in your life, it's the same as forgiving the people that cause that pain. And if you think about it, God, Goddess are the ones that are sending those people that cause you that pain, so you can learn from the spirit of pain, different things. So it's like that. And so anyhow, there was a big shift, energetic shift that I went through. And like I said, even today, this idiot that's been trying to sabotage the show has been very unsuccessful in doing so, for the most part, in the sense of speaking, and maybe because I did all that forgiveness, because I've already forgiven this guy in advance, and he doesn't even know it yet. And it is a him. I already know it's a him. That's what he says. So that was kind of interesting. All right. What next? What do you got for us next?
Well, I think we probably have time for one more before we wrap this up. So I'd love to leave us with a lighter tone. Maybe we'll have we'll go with Beads on a String. That one's super sweet, high energy.
Which one?
Beads on a String.
Hang on a second. Maybe it's on the next page. Yeah, you had a lot of songs in this album. Oh, Beads on a String. Okay. All right, so we're going to send out love, blessings, healings, angels of light and love to the President of the United States and all the entourage. That dude really needs some help. To all the kids and animals and the plants on the planet, especially the ones that need concern. To anybody else that you want to add to that?
Sending prayer similarly to the children who are rising up in the current climate and wondering what is going on, and to just provide them strength and courage and to continue to be a source that might we all continue to reweave the hoop of our interconnectivity, so that There's no one that feels left out of the hoop of life.
Okay. So to everyone else in need and concern, Bees on a String by Marya Stark from her album Lineage, and we'll be back to wrap this up.
I am the promise of the prayers of my mothers and the long line of mothers before this. We stand together as beads on a string, and we'll carry this prayer home. I am the promise of the prayers of my mothers and the long line of mothers before this. We stand together as beads on a string, and we'll carry this prayer home. We are the promise of the prayers of our mothers and the long line of mothers before this. We stand together as beads on a string, and we'll carry this prayer home. We are the promise of the prayers of our mothers and the long line of mothers before this. We stand together as beads on a string, and we'll carry this prayer home. Carry it home. Carry it home. Carry it home. Follow their wisdom. May the children joyously and lovingly live their gift purpose, lighting the path for others to come. As these ancient beings come from infinite source with their unique gifts, may we steward their growth in a way that allows for their full expression. May the little ones grow unbridled and wild, their creative hearts a compass guiding them always home, dirt and skybound. We are the promise of the prayers of our mothers and the long line of mothers before this. We stand together as beads on a string, and we'll carry this prayer home. Carry it. We are the promise of the prayers of our mothers and the long line of mothers before this. We stand together as beads on a string, and we'll carry this prayer home. Carry it 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 home.
And we're back, finishing up with Marya Stark with her album Lineage on the Golden Age Music Show. So, what's the scoop with beads on a string, Marya? We got about a couple of minutes here now. Marya, are you with us?
Hi, Andrew. I accidentally popped off there for a second. I don't know if you asked me a question.
Yeah. What's the scoop with beads on a string, or how's the song called?
Beats on a String. So this song was also one of the songs that was written backstage at the Universe monologue, holding hands with a circle of women, and just the power of standing in a circle with beloved allies on either side. And Serena was just calling down a beautiful prayer for us to remember that we are literally the answered prayers of our ancestors, and how powerful it is to remember that, like that we are the ones that they have prayed for, the opportunities that we have, the awarenesses that we have, the growth that's happening, and that there's the power when we can bring them with us. So like this, the repairing of the ancestral wounds, we can then have access to the ancestral prayers and the gifts in bringing that prayer for harmony forward. And so this song was also, I invited a lot of friends who are mothers, including my own mother, Joanne, to share their prayers for the future generations. And so this is a big prayer for the future ones, and that just to celebrate that we're on this walk together. We're walking each other home.
Got it. So that was, you know, that song really reminded me of a Hawaiian style of song. For some reason.
Oh, nice.
I don't know why, but it did. But I like that. It's very interesting. So, anything else that you want to share with us before we sign off for tonight's show that you haven't put out there yet?
I feel so grateful to be here today and sharing these songs and some of the stories behind some of them. I'm super grateful for any of our listeners out there. I know that we have a couple of albums available, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And I guess people were shy and embarrassed they didn't want to call in, so nobody called in. But
okay.
That's okay, because there'll be other people that will listen to this eventually. You know, a lot of people listen to this show after the fact because they're too shy. So that's okay. So anyhow, and so what? In any events you said you have in September, and anything else you got going on anytime soon, where people can see you live and in person or something?
Yeah, well, come find me on Instagram because I'm going live and in person there almost daily on my
really?
story. And
okay.
Yeah, we'll just sharing songs there. But in person, we're going to be having that going up to Orcas Island for Imagine Festival. I'll be playing coming up soon, and Oregon Country Fair in July. And then in the meantime, just be on the lookout for the music that's coming forth soon.
Got it for your next album. www.marya-stark.com if you want to check her out. I want to thank you for stopping by and sharing your music with us, Marya, and thank all of you for stopping by. Have a God Goddess week. Be the love that you are, always have been, and always will be. Aloha.